Anthony shared this link earlier. I was like, oh yeah, I actually tried to watch it. Couldn't do it. But here we are. Now, I tried my best on this channel to not be toxic negative about things. I really try my best. I have not always been good at it. You know, I've made my mistakes, said things I shouldn't have said. But this one, I feel it just gets worse and worse by the day. It really gets worse and worse by the day. And I don't know what the solution is. I really don't know what the solution is. And it bothers me. It bothers me. We got the premiere today, episode 1 of the Bat and Son podcast with Aaron Skokie and his dad, Sean. Now, for those of you who may not remember, Bat and the Son, they're the company that does, or did, it's been freaking forever. They did the Superpower Beatdown videos, right? And I've shown them on this channel many times in a positive light. Did they just re-release them? Yeah, Batman vs. Darth Vader, Master Chief vs. Captain America. Like now he's just re-releasing shit just to get the views. And he is 14,000, 15,000, 27,000. Like, you know, at this point, who am I, right? Who am I? Like they do views. They do numbers because they were good. These things were good. Let's go with this one real quick.
I'll take my science over your magic any day.
These things were great. These things were great. Back in the day, when did the first one come out? The first, because he's, like I say, he's re-uploading them at this point to get the views. You know, whatever, get it how you can. 19 million on that same one, alternate ending. What about the first time? 9.6 on the first version of that. So Bat and the Son used to put out some really good stuff. Really good stuff. Now, as time went on, thanks to people like Henry Resilient, I didn't realize that he wasn't fronting a lot of this money. He was partnered with Machinima on these. So we only know these, you know, like back in the, 13 years ago. I don't know how stuff works. You see this on there, you're like, okay, Machinima's there. No, they were fronting money getting these things made. Fast forward to now, he's crowdfunding to try to get them made. That's where we're at. Now, the reason I'm pissed off is he drops episode 1 of his podcast and immediately wears the White Dragon. So White Dragon, the last film that Jason David Frank ended up putting out, and he did it with them on these new characters that they created. Again, very adjacent to Power Rangers. So definitely trying to tie into that. Shoot the movie. They don't complete it. JDF dies while they're trying to complete it. And here we are, 2025. This thing was supposed to be out in like 2023 or 2 or something like that. No movie. No movie. But even though we don't have a movie, he has now started crowdfunding for new Superpower Beatdowns. So you're crowdfunding for one thing, and the previous thing's not out yet. It is still not out yet. Now, I have not prepped this section, so I'm a little all over the place. I apologize. Like I said, Henry Resilient has covered this, still continues to cover this, so I highly suggest you go over there. But what I want to do is kind of show you how I'm getting real scumbag vibes now. Like now it's not even like funny. Now it's just like, bro, just release the freaking movie. Just release the movie so we can move on from this. So we can move on. I'm going to play a little bit of it here, and then I'm going to show you why I'm so passionate about just release the movie already.
All right.
Well, this is everyone. Welcome to our podcast. This is kind of the pre-season of our podcast. We're kind of giving a trial
we're kind
run.
of breaking it in, and we could say we're actually breaking the ice on our first podcast. So we're kind of excited about it.
Very excited. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, long time, and you can see we got a new setup here.
Yes, very, very excited. We got our 3-camera setup. So I look into that one, and then you look into that one and that one. But primarily we have our own cameras that we'll look into.
Yeah.
And look at each other and talk.
Right.
We're just getting down the etiquette. This is kind of still new for us.
Yeah, but we got a lot of exciting plans, people, guests to come by to talk about a wide variety of just their personal careers working with us. Yeah. And it'll be real interesting dialogue.
Yeah, eventually, we're gonna get everyone on here. We could get David Ramsey, Mark Dacascos, Lenore Zan, Jenna Frank, Walter.
So blah blah blah, right? Blah blah blah. Podcast goes on, and I probably punched out around here, 25-minute mark, but then they start talking about Jason.
You watch certain scenes.
It's a grieving process that's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And right now, because our time with editing him, seeing him, you doing the video, me on the sound, those days are behind us now because the film is complete.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of experiencing our process of grieving kind of right now because the days are moving on past and we don't see him as much.
Right. And it's it's tough. Like, I mean, a lot of times I'll get mad at him in my brain for not being here, but obviously that's a kind of a silly thing, but it's like, just,
I mean, can we talk about Jason on the set?
Oh yeah, we definitely can. I mean, Jason was great on set. I mean, he was.
So Jason David Frank has now been gone, 2 years? We're like 2 years in. I'm not one to tell anybody how to do their grieving, right? You can grieve as long as you want. If somebody's your friend, family, neighbor, I don't care. Like, I feel bad for you that you've had to go through that. Nobody should have to go through that, etc. I feel like we're at the point now, though, where they're just using Jason David Frank as a means for clicks way after the fact. Way after the fact. He knows that people are on him about where is this movie that we crowdfunded. And I'll get to the comments in a bit. I don't want you guys to think I'm ignoring you. He knows people are on him about where is this movie. And instead of just putting out the movie at this point, there's a million excuses for it. A million gajillion excuses for it. And instead, he'll do these videos, again, talking about Jason David Frank, talking about Jason David Frank, talking about Jason David Frank. I no longer believe he's just doing it just because it's like, oh, I really miss my friend. I don't think that's what's happening anymore. That's my problem. To me, it's you're doing it because you know people are going to click on it and they're going to watch it and they're so invested in where's this movie? Where's this movie? Now, he didn't even put it in the show notes, the freaking link to his Kickstarter. Okay. Bad in the Sun Kickstarter. Actually, you know what? There you go. So they wanted to make this movie, Legend of the White Dragon. Jason David Frank says he's going to do it. Bad in the Sun's going to produce it. They ended up pulling in $508,000 to make this movie. $508,000 to make this movie. 5,259 backers. 5,000 people said, this idea of this like darker Power Ranger thing with our favorite Ranger sounds amazing. I'm going to donate to make it happen. Again, along the way, our friend leaves. So now they're kind of stuck. Everybody understands the position you're in when the star passes away in the movie. Hell, look at freaking The Crow, right? It's happened before. So nobody's mad at you for that. But you finished the movie. You found a way to finish the movie, and yet have still not released it. And 5,000 people backed it. Look at these rewards, right? Tier number 1, if you donate $5, your name gets in the credit. You get 6 backgrounds, $20, $50 reward, $75 reward, all the way down to a $10,000 reward. I don't know how many people got this one. $10,000, visit the set, meet the cast, get a photo with everyone, plus receive a co-producer credit in the film and an imdb.com. 6 people backed it at $10,000. So you get this, and I believe you get all the previous things, including a screen-worn helmet. 23 people got this. They unlocked this reward. 23 people. Nobody has any of these rewards now. We've not seen anybody say they're receiving their rewards for these things. Where are the helmets? Where are the helmets? And where's the movie? An invite to the premiere. When's the premiere? Are these people getting tickets? Have they been emailed for it? Like, what's the story here? Talk about that. If you're going to do a podcast, talk about, hey guys, you backed it at this tier. You're getting this reward. This is how we're going to address it. We are sorry. Or can you accept this other thing instead? You know, these are things you could probably talk about. These are things you can probably do. Instead, we have the movie it's in distribution and blah, blah, blah. But how about we go ahead and just start up another Kickstarter in the meantime? Let's get some more Superpower Beatdowns. Let's get this thing rolling. So while the last one had 5,000 backers, this one's currently at 395 backers. Somehow they're at 31,000 versus the other one finished at 500,000. So instead of getting the previous product out, you just went ahead and said, let's just start the next one. This is not like pyramid scheme behavior at this point. I just like so many people. You don't think the same people who backed the other one are probably going to be the same people you want to back this one? And you still haven't done it? And you keep coming up with excuses? Like, it's just ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous at this point. And I feel bad for this 395. I feel bad for this 395. Because I'm wondering how many people there had no clue, have no clue. And heck, maybe they saw the recent ones. Like, you could be a whole new. Always remember, I tell you guys this episode after episode after episode. Casual fans are how you gain success. Hardcores will always be there, but there's way more casuals than there are hardcores. That's how you gain your success. There are always exceptions to the rule. Taylor Swift probably being the number one exception. Her hardcore fans way exceed her casuals, I would assume. But, let's say you clicked on this video. You're like, oh, Batman vs. Darth Vader. I've never seen this before. You click on it.
Let's see how.
Giant banner at the bottom, support the return of the beatdown. Whoa, this is cool. Oh, wow. I remember this thing in college. Yeah, I'm going to donate to this. And now they got your money. So creating this new podcast now, knowing, that Where's the White Dragon is going to be the trigger warning. That's going to be why people click on it.
I mean, he was,
Clicked on it
committed
twice for you.
They all love it. Everyone is giving it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, we've
Let's
watched
see. We're talking about the
intertwined
movie?
different things because they're like, no, it needs to get to the fans here,
Yeah.
get to the fans here, and it's really, I think sometimes people think it's like a one-stop shop, like you're just kind of going
this
through and.
distribution has been a learning process for both of us.
Oh yeah, of course.
We've
never done this before.
I've come to find out that getting a distribution deal is almost as hard as making the film.
That's what one of our colleagues said.
Yeah.
But I can rest assured, fans, the movie is completed. It's great, and it's gonna come out. I promise you.
100%.
100%.
100% promise.
So
yeah. A lot of our cast and crew has seen it.
Yeah.
Because they're they come in from wherever they are, and they said we have it, and they said they want to see it. So we have the privilege of showing it to them. So, but they all love it. Everyone is giving it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we watched it with Jenna 2 or 3 times, and one of those times when we watched them at our house, and it's just like it was emotional, so emotional for her, especially for her, obviously. But for a lot of the cast, it's very emotional. I think for a lot of the fans, it'll be emotional just because of how much the movie is really Jason. I think it'll
we had to
affect
stop
people.
we had to.
I want to remind you of something. The money has already been collected. The movie's done. Why do you need a distribution deal? Why do you need that? Unless you're trying to make more money on it. You can take let's say a music album, right? You take an album, create it, all of a sudden it becomes a hit. And all of a sudden, a studio comes around and says, hey, you're killing it. I want to sign you. You go, great. And then they'll probably say something along the lines of, in signing you, we're going to agree to pay you in advance. Remember how Drake's like, I want an advance to my advance. We're going to pay you in advance to make a new album every X amount of time. We'll pay you in advance to go on tour, but we want to own your catalog. Most people end up saying yes because they just want that money, and you can't blame them. But here's the thing. The album's already out. They've already been doing their tours on the album. It just means that now going forward, the studio or the record company, now they own the album. So they get a piece of that previous album sales. So why can't you do it that way? Why can't you drop Bat in the Sun's Legend of the White Dragon that the fans fronted as investors to get it made? Why can't you release it? And then if it ends up being a huge hit, you can go around, hey, Netflix, do you want to sign us to make another one of these? Hey, Hulu, do you want to buy the rights to Legend of the White Dragon? We'll pull it off YouTube. It's all yours. Pay us for it and we'll make you another one. Why can't you do any of that? Because that's not the game. That's not the play. The play is give me the money. And he thinks you're dumb. At this point, he thinks you're dumb. And unfortunately, 325 people have been tricked. In which case, I believe he's put in most of that money. I believe, going back here, and then I'll hit up your comments. Sorry. I believe of this 31,000, I bet you more than a quarter of this has come from him. Because I've told this to, I'll say it. I've told it to Henry. I've told it to Legacy. I've told it to Anthony. I've told it to all my friends. I believe that he followed a method or somebody followed the method of the crowdfund on the toy side of things. I believe they said, all right, whenever there's a crowdfund, let's take the Ecto 1, right? Ecto 1 HasLab window has opened. It's kind of crawling. It's not doing too crazy. All of a sudden, it finally backs, and then everybody starts backing it. Because now everybody knows, oh, it's going to actually happen. Yeah, I'll put my money down on it. Oh, I don't want to miss out. You get that FOMO that hits. I believe he pushed this one over the edge, hoping that FOMO would kick in and more people would then want to back. I truly believe that. I don't think that this is, I don't believe that this is 31,000 one-off people doing this. Not a shot. Not a shot. Especially if we go to, first of all, the rewards are fugazi. Two people backed 5,000. One person did 2,000. One person 1,000. The rest are all down here. Who are these people? Who are the two 5,000 people? Because here's the thing. I'm going to back a $5,000 reward to get a screen used cowl helmet. You didn't release the last one. Nobody, whoever that guy was, there was an Australian guy on Henry Resilience's channel the other day. The guy was like, you're telling me that those 20-something people who got a helmet, nobody did an unboxing on their YouTube channel? Nobody decided I'm going to put a picture on Instagram with this thing? You telling me they all got it? We're just like, I'm going to put it in my vault into hiding? No. So who are these two people who are going to get a cowl each? Or a helmet? Or a mask? Unless it's you. To put it over the edge in the hopes that other people will decide I want to get on the action. These are actually happening. I'm going to do it. So, I don't know. Seeing his podcast today drop with that title and it being a whole JDF tribute, it set me over the edge. Because I was like, oh, okay, this is no longer about my friend. The friend thing is done. Now you're doing it for views. You were doing it already for views, I'm pretty sure. Now I'm 1,000% sure you're doing it for views. 1,000%. F you. Let's catch up on the comments. Aaron's 100% scumbag. Yep. Hey Archer, where can we buy a real Nerdbuster patch? I'm still working on trying to get more. This is not an Aaron Skokie thing where I took money for patches and I have not made them. Anthony found somebody to make us our first round of patches, and for the second round of patches, first of all, we didn't sell that many patches when we first made them. We sold a couple here and there. We did a lot of patch for patch trading. But in the last year, like so many of you have asked for patches and where you can buy them, but we ran out. And I kind of want the next run of patches to come from somebody in the community who makes patches. Like I kind of want to like pay our own to do it versus just like a random patch company, if that makes sense. So for 2026, we're going to have new patches. I've cleaned up the graphic as well, so the patches should come out even cleaner than the first round. So I always tell people when they ask me, make sure you're following us on Instagram, because when we do get another run of patches, that will be announced on there and here on YouTube, so people can pick those up. So I'm sorry I don't have any now, but we will. He's so dirty, yeah. Good question. I want one too. People discussing their careers with Bat in the Sun. You mean those that will still talk to him? Yeah. Henry's pointed that out. 3 years. Yep, it's been on 3 years. Right. I know too many people that didn't get paid for work they did on that movie. Yeah. Because here's the thing too. If more than one person's saying it, and more than one person saying it that don't know each other, there must be some truth to that. There must be. If so, well, that's some morbid shit. It is. What he's doing, it very much is. Very much. Kevin Porter, Marisha Ray, so many others that won't even comment on Aaron. There you go. Yep. Vam Goth in the house. Good to see you. Aaron is such a money whore. He took half the budget for the film as his own paycheck. He takes half of his project's budget as his own pay. SMH, he takes the money and pockets it. It sounds bad. Yep. He bought a fancy house, an expensive ring for his OnlyFans wife. I hear more Dave and then claims he's broke. Craft servants on set were served water and some sandwiches, pure garbage. I thought at one point it was $4 million and it took $2 million as I pay. I remember Henry Roselien playing audio of JDF saying this. He remembers that. Casuals equal profit. Yep. Yeah, I heard, I hear you, but if you release it on your own channel, it's free. And I don't want anyone who's seen it yet, professionally speaking. Don't know anyone who's seen it, professionally speaking. Of course, people making it will give it 2 thumbs up. Duh. Yeah. More money, more money, more money. The only streamer interested is Tubi for mere peanuts. Yeah. He has to get sued. I don't think so. Because here's the thing. Henry pointed it out, and I did a quick Google search. I didn't get the legalities of it, but there are other Kickstarters that have not been fulfilled. And, you know, what are you going to, you, the one person's going to sue them? You'd need like a whole class action going on. You need lots of money or lots of people to help you in your lawsuit against it happening. So, I mean, I agree they should sue. I agree. I make custom Ghostbuster themed cowboy hats, and I'm going to bring you one at Ghostbusters Day. Awesome. I would love that. I would love that. Don't feel obligated, but I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I have said a lot of mean things about Aaron on Henry's streams. A lot of it out of being funny. I was on the one stream on Legacy's channel where Aaron did pop up, and I kept my comments to myself just out of respect for everybody there, because I'm a guest on somebody else's stream, and then he's a guest now. So I'm not going to, try to kick his legs in while streaming on somebody else's platform. That's just not proper etiquette. Like, you don't do that. FYI, in case anybody's ever thinking about doing that. If you're a guest on somebody else's show, that's not your time to try to shine and make anybody look bad. That's not the time. But at the moment, jokes aside, all my jokes aside that I've said before on him, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And I don't think anybody should donate to him until that movie comes out. You should not be a channel member. You should not super chat. You should not subscribe to her OnlyFans if she has one. I didn't even check. Does she have one? You should not. Vera Bambi and Aaron Skokie should get $0 from anybody in the community until that movie comes out. And even then, I would say, I think we're good. I think we're good here. Because you've shown us how you really think about the fans. The fans can't even get a private viewing, those people. Even people who spent like $100, they can't get a viewing of the movie. You can't do a stream on Patreon or something. I don't know. A private YouTube stream where they can see it. Was distribution part of the crowdfund? Let me go back. Let's go back. Where's Bobby Valla, by the way? What are his thoughts on any of this? He made the toys. There's a story. Kickstarter. Let's do. Interesting. It's important that we deliver what the fans want and deserve, and Kickstarter allows us to do that. This way, we remain 100% in control of the project, giving us the freedom to create a compelling story, intense action sequences, and spectacular visual effects without any studio telling us no. We can't wait to deliver an awesome film experience. We remain 100% in control. With any Kickstarter, we run the risk of not hitting our goal, so please make sure to contribute to this film, or to make this film a reality. Thank you. Learn about accountability on Kickstarter. Why not? What happens if the project breaks Kickstarter rules? Who's responsible for completing the project as promised? It's the project's creator's responsibility to complete their project. Kickstarter doesn't step into any creative process itself or manage the fulfillment and shipment of rewards. Our site operates on a system of trust, and the backers ultimately decide the validity and worthiness of a project by deciding to support it. That's wild. That's wild. They're just like, we literally facilitate it. Why can't they guarantee projects? We started Kickstarter as a new way for creators and audiences to work together to make things. Many traditional funding systems are risk-averse and project-focused, and tons of great ideas never get a chance. Kickstarter opens a door to a world full of creative possibilities, one where anyone can help decide which bright idea will make tomorrow's reality. Kickstarter is full of ambitious, innovative, and imaginative ideas. Many of the projects you see on Kickstarter are in the early stages of development and looking for a community to bring them to life. Kickstarter allows creators to take risk and attempt to create new things. Is a feature, not a bug. He doesn't owe you anything. He technically does not owe you anything. Zero. Nothing in here says something about distribution. Like once it backs, it will be given to distribution and then we'll see what happens. None of that. None of that. $109 Space Bears book. Did this ever come out? I know there's a whole thing with that. Reward delivery and addresses. This was back in October. Meeting with distribution, November 11th, almost a month ago. Color correction is locked, July. Audio is locked, June. Sound mixing, May. Q&A, color correction update. The fuck? What? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You know? And look, this was 9 hours ago. Samuel Burnett. When you started this campaign, I don't remember you saying that it's us getting the movie dependent on you securing a cinema release. I certainly didn't agree to that. This was a made for home release movie. You're now ignoring us while you are now ignoring us while making a new campaign. Are you going to con those backers as well? Will you never release the Superpower Beatdown because you want to show around for a TV release, even though you never said that in the campaign? We did just what we said. I didn't even know this before. I've never seen this section. But we're all on the same page here. Is any one of us lawyers so we can do something regarding this? Look at this. 21 days ago. Oh, this guy's supporting what's going on. All right. Got it. As we reported time and time again, the film is completed and we're choosing the best path forward to getting the movie into everyone's hands. I'm sure you can understand the delay in the film's completion and release due to our lead actor's death. Thank you for your patience. The film is amazing. We can't wait for you to see it. 23 days ago. The dude died 3 years ago. So, you know, as a content creator, as a fan, as a person who's worked in sales for a long time, people like him and what they're doing over there is what makes it harder for the rest of us. It makes it harder for the rest of us because, you know, I look at somebody like Mad Hatter, right? Mad Hatter did a crowdfund to get an action figure made, slammed it out of the park. People got all their toys, blah, blah, blah. Success story. But there's also a lot of people who probably didn't back to something like that because they're like, I just got burned on this other one. There's fans out there who are like, oh, I'm crowdfunding to make a Ghostbuster fan film. But now you got 5,000 people who've been burned on this thing who are like, maybe some of them had overlap and would have backed a Ghostbuster fan film, but they're like, I backed this other fan film before and nothing happens. I'm out $500. And they don't realize that. You know, it's a very selfish thing. It's a very selfish thing. And some of the Power Rangers have done that before. The Order is the one that Henry references a lot. So that's why when I go to cons, I don't get autographs from these people. The Power Ranger people, with the exception of Amy Jo Johnson, David Yost, Johnny Young Bosch, like anybody in that circle of friends that are around Bat and Sun, Jason Font, all those guys, no interest. An interview with you, picture with you will do nothing for me because you guys are so corrupt. You make it hard for the rest of us. Make it hard for the rest of us. So channels like myself, you know, all we can do is give you the heads up and tell you what's what. But people like him, they are con artists. They are con artists. And at this moment, I don't think there's anything he can do to prove me otherwise. Nothing. Nothing. The only people I think that would know about these things and continue to donate are those who are hoping they can get something out of it. Which, hey, you do you. If you get an interview, if you get a whatever, you do you. But there's so many casuals out there that I don't want them to go in with good intentions and not know and donate to somebody like Aaron, and you know, they're out. Now they're Speaking of Vala, I ordered the weapons pack in November, rocket launcher from Valaverse, and we're giving it to my classified Footloose, and will look so much badass holding it. Yeah. I passed on the toys. They didn't look that good. They did not. I hung out with some of the Canadian cast for one of the seasons, and they hate him too. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of these actors and actresses, they can't say anything because they're still in the industry, you know? Like if you, how can I explain this? If you come out as a problem, whether you are right or wrong, you're dubbed a problem. I learned this actually at my last job. I was headquarters came out to do a visit of our store, and they hired somebody to be like their, you know, store analytics person, right? The person that was going to come with the Excel sheets. Little did they know who they were coming to see. Little did they know. So the dude shows up. There's my boss, his boss, their boss, their boss, their boss, all of them standing in my store. And this guy proceeds to hand out booklets. And then I look at the booklet. We all look at the booklet, and it's our numbers. It is our store's numbers. And he's like, well, this is where you're underperforming. This is where you are performing. This is where you have lots of room for improvement. And I was like, these are not our store numbers. And they all looked at me like I was an idiot. And I was like, no, my store name's on here. Some of my sale numbers look close to what they're supposed to be. But all the factors, all of the freaking, you know, these are your opportunities. These are your leads. These are not accurate. I can show you because I have them on an Excel sheet. And they were like, no, these are the numbers. And I was like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. And then somebody had to intervene and be like, all right, well, we're going to move on now. And we had to move on. And that day I learned, and I had another friend who was like my sales Yoda. I talked to him about it. He was like, you know, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. In those scenarios, it does not matter if you're right or wrong. All they will remember is that you caused the problem. Whether you're right or wrong does not matter. But you caused the problem, and now you're Steven who causes a problem. So a lot of these actors and actresses and people who Tony has worked with on sets and all that stuff, yeah, amongst themselves, they can be like, yeah, definitely don't go work for that guy. But they can't go and do a podcast talking about it, because then now people are going to be like, oh, there's Steven who always goes on podcasts and shits productions that he's worked on. I don't want him on my production. What if I slip up and all of a sudden he's got a problem and now it's on a podcast? So they're in a tight spot. So again, that's where people like myself and the rest of these content creators, that's where we come in. Because we can get the story, we can hear from people, and then we can say it. And I'll be a problem. I'll be a problem on YouTube. If you refuse to work with a studio and talk bad about them, then you'll get blacklisted. But when it's a little company like Bat in the Sun, there's nobody. Well, I will give you that. They are small compared to everybody else. But you don't know where people will end up. No clue. So there could have been a set designer on Bat in the Sun who's friends with Aaron. And then all of a sudden that person gets hired by Disney to do some job. Now you show up to Disney trying to interview to do a job, and that person remembers you, and you were shitting on their friend Aaron, and then they tell their boss, whatever, oh, I wouldn't hire that guy. problem. You don't know. You don't know. So there's that. Anyway, it's been Legacy. You missed my whole rant. But yeah, shout out to Legacy of Nerd. Give him a follow as well. And do not give Aaron or Bat in the Sun any of your money or follow. I will say that. I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you watching. Like I said, it is on my top of mind. First of all, I owe Dada Films a P.O. box. I haven't done that yet. And I need to get new patches made. So those are 2026 goals, along with the 3D printing. And we're going to make 2026 so much better than 2025, which is what we probably said about 2024, which is what we probably said about 2023, we probably said about 2022, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Craft sales learning so much. Josh saying hi to him. Tony said he was blacklisted. Yep. Word. This is Dada Films. T-Swag, good to see you. Yeah. Rice grain in my pocket from eating all that stuff. Check your messages. All right, yeah, I'll check that. Like I said, guys, if you do want to reach me or reach any of us, it is always it's easier to reach us on Instagram. We tend to check that more often. But be patient with us because we have 4 Instagram pages, but I technically have 7. So bear with me. It's not you. It's me. It's not you. It's me. Yeah. Anyway, great episode. Fun time. I just, like I said, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, it sucks. My moral of the story is, as a small business, as a content creator, as a wannabe influencer, all of us, all we have is our word. All we have is our word. And when somebody makes it big and they prove to not be trustworthy, it makes it harder on the rest of us. It makes it harder for the rest of us. So that's where I'm coming from. I never want any of you to be scammed, taken advantage of, all that stuff. Here I'll address this because it comes to the top of my mind. Channel members, we do the member only early releases. You guys get to see. There is an ongoing discount code you have. I forget which tier it is, but for one of the tiers, you have an ongoing discount code on the website, which is on the community page. But I'll post it again tonight because now I feel like am I doing wrong by not posting that all the time? You guys have a discount code at the higher tier. You guys get the emojis, and we do the member only open mics. So like, I try to make it fair, but I never want you guys to feel like your money is in vain or like I'm stealing or taking your money. Because of people like Aaron, the rest of us have to try our best to prove we're not like that. So, appreciate all of you. Our words and actions affect others. Remember that. Couldn't have said it better myself. But here we are. Heritage Live every Thursday, 8:15ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated, assuming I haven't eaten too much Chinese food and show up late. Daily Planets, we dropped 2 this week. I might be able to get one tomorrow. Josh, who I owed a shirt, he wants a large Degenerate version 2 shirt. You got it. Because remember, the other day I said when I had the competitions or whatever it was, everybody who won got a shirt. Who was owed a shirt, except for Josh, because he forgot. But I reminded him. Now he's getting his shirt. I'm a man of my word. Appreciate all of you. Support one another. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't rip each other off. I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'll do a competition for you, Tony, so you can get something. I'm out of here.